Imagine being so poor that you survive on free McDonald's burgers. Imagine being mocked every single day because of your accent. Imagine doctors telling you at 15 that your heart could stop at any moment. Now imagine becoming the most famous athlete in human history. This is the story of Cristiano Ronaldo. And it almost never happened. His mother wanted to abort him. She was poor, exhausted, and already struggling with 3 children and a husband drowning in alcoholism. Her doctor refused to perform the procedure. Years later, Ronaldo would say, "My mother wanted to abort me. She was scared. She didn't have money. But I'm here. And I thank God every day that she didn't." That refusal by a single doctor changed the course of football history forever. But the suffering didn't end there. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, in Funchal, Madeira, a tiny, volcanic island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. His family lived in a house with a tin roof and concrete floors. His father, Jose Diniz, was a gardener and a part-time kitman for the local club Andorinha. He was also a traumatized war veteran who drank himself into oblivion every night. Ronaldo later admitted, "I wanted a different father. He drank. I never really got to know him. But I don't blame him. War destroyed him." His mother Dolores was the backbone of the family, working as a cook and cleaning woman, often holding 3 jobs at once just to put food on the table. Young Cristiano shared a bedroom with his older siblings and slept on a mattress so thin he could feel the springs. When he wasn't playing football on the dusty streets of Santo Antonio, he was begging for food at the local McDonald's near Sporting Lisbon Stadium. 3 women who worked there, Edna and 2 others, would give him free burgers. He later tracked them down and paid for their houses as thanks. That's the kind of man he became. But the hunger, real, physical hunger, never left him. It drove him, consumed him, made him train when others slept, made him cry when he lost, made him different. At age 8, he joined Andorinha, where his father worked. At 10, he moved to Nacional. And at 11, he was scouted by Sporting CP, Portugal's biggest club. In 1997, at just 12 years old, Ronaldo left his family and his island for Lisbon. He was alone, terrified, and he couldn't understand a word anyone said. Not because of the language, but because of the accent. Madeirans speak Portuguese differently than people in Lisbon. The other kids in the academy mocked him mercilessly. They called him island boy, barbarian, and laughed at the way he talked. He was so miserable that he briefly returned home to Madeira. His godfather, Fernão Barros Sousa, convinced him to go back. He told him, "You have a gift. Don't waste it because of some bullies." Ronaldo returned to Lisbon. And instead of fighting back with words, he fought back with his feet. He would stay after every training session for an extra half hour, sometimes more, practicing the moves he couldn't master. His teammate Christopher Pillar said Ronaldo was different because of all the work he put in. Not so much during training, but after training. The way he trained, the way he motivated his teammates, his will to win was superior to all the others. But then came the nightmare. At 15, doctors discovered he had tachycardia, a condition that caused his heart to beat dangerously fast. He was told he might never play football again. It was a moment that could have broken anyone. But Ronaldo underwent a laser heart surgery and left the hospital the same day. He was back training within days. The condition that could have ended his career became just another obstacle he crushed. At school, things were even worse. He was barely literate when he arrived in Lisbon. One teacher publicly mocked him, both for his Madeiran accent and for being so poor. Ronaldo saw red. He picked up a chair and hurled it at the teacher. He was expelled the next day. By age 14, he had quit school completely, agreeing with his mother and his sporting tutor to focus entirely on football. "I never finished school," he would later say, "but I learned everything I needed to learn on the pitch. The pitch was my classroom, and I was the best student." At 16, he was promoted to Sporting's first team. At 17, he made his senior debut. At 18, he was about to face the biggest test of his life. Summer 2003. Manchester United played a pre-season friendly against Sporting Lisbon. A. Scrawny 18-year-old with braces on his teeth and a mop of curly hair destroyed. United's defence. He made Rio Ferdinand, one of the best defenders in the world, look like an amateur. He embarrassed the entire Premier League. Ferdinand later recalled, at halftime, "I was going to the toilet with Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, and we are all standing there saying, 'Oh my God, we've got to sign him.' We had never seen anything like it." After the game, the Manchester United bus wouldn't leave. Sir Alex Ferguson and the club's CEO were inside, refusing to go anywhere until Ronaldo signed. The deal was agreed on the team bus. Ronaldo joined Manchester United for a then record fee for a teenager, £12.24 million, and inherited the iconic number 7 shirt, worn by legends like George Best, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. The pressure was immense, but Ronaldo didn't care. He walked into United's training ground on his first day and told the coaches, "I'm going to be the best player in the world." They laughed. He wasn't joking. His work ethic was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. He would arrive at training 2 hours early and leave 3 hours late. He would do 1,000 sit-ups a day. He would run up and down hills with weights strapped to his ankles. He would practice free kicks until the sun went down, hitting the same spot on the wall over and over again until his feet bled. When Mick Clegg, United's power development coach, asked why he always trained hidden behind a hill, Ronaldo said, "There's nobody there, so if I do the skill wrong, nobody's watching me." That's how obsessive he was. But here's what nobody tells you. In 2006, Ronaldo became a villain. During the World Cup quarter-final between Portugal and England, his teammate Wayne Rooney was sent off for stamping on Ricardo Carvalho. Ronaldo ran over to the referee and demanded a red card, then winked at the Portugal bench. The English press crucified him. He was booed at every stadium. He wanted to leave Manchester United, but Sir Alex Ferguson protected him, telling him, "Stay. Prove them wrong." And he did. He stayed. He won 3 Premier League titles. He won his first Champions League in 2008. He scored 42 goals that season. He won his first Ballon d'Or. And then he left for Real Madrid. In 2009, Ronaldo fulfilled his childhood dream. He joined Real Madrid for a world record £80 million. The unveiling at the Bernabeu Stadium drew 80,000 fans, breaking the record for the most attended presentation in football history. He stood on the stage with his iconic number 9 shirt and said, "I'm here to win. I'm here to make history." And he did exactly that. Over 9 seasons, he scored 451 goals in 438 games, an average of over a goal per game. He became Real Madrid's all-time top scorer. He won 4 Champions League titles, including 3 in a row, an achievement that was thought impossible in the modern era. He scored in 3 Champions League finals. He won 5 Ballon d'Ors. He surpassed every record in existence. But here's something you probably don't know. In 2014, Real Madrid won La Decima, their 10th Champions League trophy. The entire team was celebrating. Champagne was flowing. The atmosphere was electric. Assistant coach Paul Clement noticed a small group of players huddled together: Marcelo, Pepe, and Ronaldo. He asked Ronaldo what they were talking about. Ronaldo said, "We are talking about how next year we have to come back and win it again." While everyone else was partying, Ronaldo was already planning the next conquest. That relentless hunger never left him. In 2016, Ronaldo led Portugal to their first major international trophy, the European Championship. In the final against France, he was brutally injured in the 25th minute and had to leave the pitch on a stretcher. Tears streamed down his face. He thought his dream was over. But he didn't give up. He limped to the sidelines and spent the rest of the match screaming instructions to his teammates, waving his arms like a madman. His teammate Nani later said, "He was calling out all the players, every name. I think almost everyone felt his presence on the touchline. He was our leader." Portugal won 1-0. Ronaldo finally had an international trophy. He had done what his idol, the legendary Eusebio, couldn't. But he wasn't finished yet. In 2018, Ronaldo moved to Juventus for another €100 million, despite critics saying he was too old. In his first season, he scored a stunning hat-trick against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, leading Juve to an impossible comeback. He scored over 100 goals for the club. He won 2 Serie A titles. He proved that age was just a number. In 2021, he returned to Manchester United, 18 years after his first spell. He scored his 800th career goal. He became the top scorer in international football history, surpassing Ali Day's record of 109 goals. And in 2023, he shocked the world again, moving to Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr, becoming football's first billionaire. The critics laughed. They said he was finished, washed up, going to retirement. But Ronaldo didn't listen. He scored 50 goals in his first season in Saudi Arabia. He broke the record for most goals in a single Saudi Pro League season. He won the league title. He proved that even at 38, even in a retirement league, he was still the best. As of 2025, Ronaldo has scored over 960 senior career goals, the highest in men's football history. He has 5 Ballon d'Ors. He has won 46 senior trophies. He has 8 Ballon d'Or nominations in total. He is the all-time top scorer in the Champions League with 140 goals. He is the top scorer in international football with 143 goals for Portugal. He is the first player to score in 5 different World Cups. He is the first player to score in 5 different World Cups. He is the most followed athlete on Instagram with over 600 million followers. His brand CR7 generates over $1 billion in revenue annually. But the man behind the numbers is more complex than you think. When asked how he wanted to be remembered, he said, "I would say, unique player. In life, a good man. For me, it's the most important thing. I don't want to be remembered for my money or my trophies. I want to be remembered for my heart." There's something most people don't know about Ronaldo. He has no tattoos. Why? Because he donates blood and bone marrow regularly. He said, "I don't have tattoos because I donate blood regularly." He also donated bone marrow to a sick child, risking his own health to save a life. He paid for life-saving surgeries for children, funded cancer hospitals in Portugal, and donated millions to Nepal earthquake relief. In 2021, he removed 2 Coca-Cola bottles at a press conference and replaced them with water. Coca-Cola's market value dropped by $4 billion. He didn't care. He remembered the free McDonald's burgers, the poverty, the bullies. He tracked down Edna, the woman who fed him as a child, and bought her a house. He paid his childhood coach's medical bills. He built schools in Madeira. He gave his teammates £500,000 watches after winning the Champions League. In 2022, Ronaldo suffered a tragedy no parent should endure. His newborn son, Angel, died during childbirth. It would have destroyed most men. But Ronaldo kept going. He flew back to training days later. He scored and pointed to the sky, dedicating it to his son. He said, "I will never forget that moment. But I have to keep going, for him." That's the man behind the stats. At 41, he's still playing, still scoring, still winning. He led Portugal to the Euro 2024 semi-finals. He announced that the 2026 World Cup will be his last tournament. He's determined to go out with a bang. The boy from Madeira who almost wasn't born became the most famous athlete on earth. His net worth is $1.4 billion. His CR7 brand spans fashion, fragrance, fitness, and hospitality. But it's not about the money. It's about the boy from a tin-roofed house who refused to give up. The kid who injected himself with growth hormones every night. The teenager who had heart surgery and walked out the same day. The man who lost his son and kept playing. Cristiano Ronaldo is proof that where you come from doesn't define where you're going. That setbacks are just setups for comebacks. That hunger can be turned into greatness. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell for more untold stories. See you in the next one. And remember, when someone tells you that you can't do something, think of the boy from Madeira and prove them wrong.